Hello, welcome back to this channel. My name is Perry Zhang, and today we're going to talk about product market fit. So to set the stage, we have a 7-figure ARR business backed by Y Combinator, and we launched our first product a few years ago, and that's a 7-figure business. And we're working on second, third, and fourth products. We've been working on it for 6 months, some of them a year, and we still have not found product market fit. So I'm going to talk about why is it so hard to find product market fit and what are some of the mental traps. So just last week, I was not happy that we did not have product market fit. So I called together a team of our best engineers and engineering managers and product managers. And I told them, you folks are extremely talented and really good at what you do. However, why is it that we don't have product market fit? And I pretend to be a user, and I walk through the product. And on our homepage, we've tried to be a multi-product company, and we launched product A, and then there are 3 other products. And it turned out that product B, which is a thing that that's a little bit more polished, a little bit more mature, that we think should have product market fit at this point, it doesn't. And I realized, we never mentioned the words of product B anywhere on our homepage. It is at the footer. And I said, well, if you question why we don't have product market fit, so nobody knows we have it. That's problem number 1. Once you log in, the product B is nowhere to be found once you log in. It is buried under settings and then go to the third tab. Nobody will be able to find it. And then third is you're not nudging any of the users to use it. Then by the time you get to the description page, there's a button called Start Free Trial, and you click on it to see all the plans of that new product. But nobody's going to click on it because when they click on it, they thought they have to pay or start paying. So it takes multiple hurdles to get to it. So what's the first lesson here? The first lesson is you have to put yourself in the point of view of the user to know why you don't have product market fit, right? Until you become the user and try to use the product as if the user, you are not going to know why you don't have product market fit. And so a lot of entrepreneurs tend to, for better for worse, think from their perspective and not from their user's perspective. The best thing you can do is pretend that you are the user. Think like a user. And sometimes that means, taking a break from your mental activity and pretend to be a user. People don't do it very often because they don't want to face the brutal truth that my product sucks and there's a lot of work to do. But that's really important. You have to admit that it's your fault, and that's the only way you can get better. So number 1 is be in the place of the user. The second one is, as a founder, so we are in a very interesting place where we have product market fit in the first product, but not the second, third, and fourth. And so we have achieved something. And I thought once we achieve product number 1, we should be able to get product market fit on number 2 because it's selling to the same users. Well, that couldn't be further away from the truth. The fact of the matter is product market fit, it's a miraculous thing that happens. And in that process, you will know that your efforts are very futile compared to the timing and the global trends. So in the face of all the macroeconomic pressures, you don't know if it will work. It takes a miracle, the right timing, right place, right strategy, and sometimes you don't know why you hit it. So the second point is about having humility, knowing that you couldn't 100% deterministically figure out product market fit. If it were that easy, then everyone will be able to start a company, right? And so that humility means I don't know what's going on. All I can do is try things, have a mental model, keep updating my mental model as things go wrong, backtrack if necessary, and eventually we get closer to the goal. And sometimes we don't get closer. We have to backtrack and know where to backtrack so that we can try again. But that humility is in the face of this really large mystery. You have to know that your efforts might not result in the end goal. Okay? that humility also means you revere product market fit. A lot of our best employees actually don't think too much about product market fit. They're just taking instructions and implement them, and they have a really good idea about efficiency, micro improvements, and that's great. And we need that, a lot of them, and they are some of the best people I have worked with. But it takes a level of respect and fear of product market fit to know that that's really hard, and so you have to almost admire it, knowing that, it's not like we can just try and we'll automatically arrive at the destination. You have to want it. Okay, so that's the humility part. The third one is, as entrepreneur, you cannot delegate product market fit. I've tried it, and it just turned out that it's one of those things that only you know, and it's really hard to delegate it to the employees, at least on the second one. Maybe after we have 2 or 3, then we develop a culture of this feedback loop, this like virtuous cycle of developing the product, getting in the hands of customer, go on the calls with the customer, really read between the lines of what the customer says, iterate, improve the product, get it back into the customer's hands, listen carefully, and then this virtuous cycle. But until you develop that culture, you cannot delegate product market fit. It is the responsibility of the founder. So it is not any of the employees' fault that we couldn't find product market fit. It's my fault, and my fault alone. So that's the third point. And then the last point I will say is the hardest thing before you find product market fit is the uncertainty, the crippling uncertainty if you're even in the right track or not the right track, right? If this doesn't matter, and to the degree the thing that you ship is a high quality, or is it that just no market? Is it the product or is it the market? You don't know. And so all you can do, in my opinion, is you want to know the answer. And that goes back to point number 2 is, in the face of the world and this overwhelming pressure that's outside of your control, you have to be humble that you actually don't control the outcome. And the only thing you can do is take a step in the right direction. I don't know what's going on, yet I think this is the right direction, so I'm gonna go with it. And you have to go with it in a very convincing and full of belief manner. So it's a paradox, it's a juggling of, I don't know what's going on, but I think this has to be true. So let's go with that direction. And then once you go in that direction and you iterate really fast, all the features, instead of taking a month, you have to iterate within 2 or 3 days and then get a ship. And then by the time you ship it, you almost like, oh, okay, I think I actually know a little bit bigger picture of what's going on now. And then you show it to the users, and then users can affirm or deny that hypothesis, and then you go back to the drawing board. And so what I do a lot in my free time is just walk around the lake, keep updating my mental model. It's like, why is it not working? Is it the product? Is it the market? Is it the trend? What's going on? And there's this crippling uncertainty and fear and self-doubt and all the things that go on. It's like, maybe we just suck. maybe there's no market for it. Maybe all of this is futile. So how do you keep going? You keep going by having this unshakable belief that eventually this is good. Eventually, there should be a need for this. Eventually, also, you have experience from outside of this domain, right? And so there is a parallel of this thing somewhere that I have experience with. So in our example, we try to create a marketplace. And by the way, if you want to support this channel, please go to pallasInvesting.com. Pallas. Pallas is Pallas Athena, PallasInvesting.com. That's the best way to support this channel. It's a marketplace that helps high income earners like you to diversify your assets and connect with private equity real estate firms so you can invest passively in their deals. Anyway, going back to the topic, all I know is this idea of reviews, transparency, marketplace had exist in my other dealings, specifically as part of YC. So YC has this review system of all the investors that it's immensely useful for me when I was talking to venture capitalists. So you see parallels, banking, you see parallels outside of real estate. So I know that somewhere else it worked, right? Similarly, you can say in China, they say, oh, well, there exists Uber and Lyft back in the US. So this kind of idea of like ride sharing must have worked, delivery service. So I have seen parallels somewhere else. So that's the unshakable belief that if it worked for me and I'm the user of it in a different domain, then it must work in real estate. And the way to make it work is just many, many years of hard work and crippling uncertainty. So to summarize, number one, you need to think like a customer. Number two, you must have awe and humility of how hard it is. So you respect it. You are admire of product market fit, this mythical creature. Number three is you cannot delegate product market fit to people on your team. It is your responsibility and your burden alone. And number four, it is like a mental maze. And all you can do is take a step in some direction and then keep updating that mental model as you find more data. It's one of the hardest things that entrepreneur gets to do. But once you achieve it, it's also one of the most rewarding things because you literally create magic, right? I hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, bye-bye.